We're going to use this program named Microsoft Excel to calculate the mean, median, mode, and range of the puzzle cubes that we have up here. This is my data set. Yours is going to be different, but we're going to just practice with mine first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my Excel spreadsheet first thing. And how I do that is I'm going to go right back to here. This is one I've done previously. I'm going to go to cell A1 and I'm going to type in student name. And then I'm going to go to A2 and I'm going to type in trial. So back here, A1. And then I'm going to put in my name, of course. You will put in yours. And then I'll go down to the next one. And I'm going to put in the word trial number. Now you'll notice that in this case, both of these go over the boundary between the column A and column B. So I can just click on this and move this out if I want. I haven't gone far enough yet on purpose. Or if I click on the boundary between A and B and double click twice, it will expand it to be bigger than my value that I want. Okay, now in B2, so back to this, in B2 I'm going to put raw data. Oopsie, here we go. I'm going to write raw data. And then I'm going to, in D2, I'm going to put sorted data. And then in F2, I'm going to put in bins. And then in I2, I'm going to put in statistic name, S-T-A-T name. And I'm going to arrow down. And in I3 is going to be the word mean. And I can use the arrow or enter key here. I'm going to put a median. I'm going to put in mode, range, and standard deviation. So that sets up my sheet, except I want, of course, to go here between I and J. I hit the enter key. Between I and J and double click, where it says D and E for the raw data or sorted data, and there we go. So you can pause this video now and we'll come back to it to do the next step once you have this one all done. Now we need to put trial number, and you'll notice in our data set here we have cube 1 through 27. So we're going to put in the numbers 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to stop here. One of the things you can do to save yourself a little bit of work, and you can keep typing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way through 27 if you want, and pushing enter or the down arrow. Or you can do this. I'm going to click on the number 1. I'm going to press and hold on my mouse button and release it when I get to 3. And then down here to the little right hand corner of the 3 is a little square. When I put my cursor on there, it turns to a black square. And now when I pull down, you'll see little numbers, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26, 27, and I release it. And that allows me to put in the all the data points that I need. Now, once I have that done, I'm going to go to raw data at the very top, and let's take a look at the picture. You'll have a printed out copy of this, but I'm going to put in for cube number 1, which is this one right here, 953. For cube number 2, 955. So I'm going to put in 0.953, hit enter, 0.955, and I'm going to keep doing this through to all of my 27 data points. So I'm going to pause this, and when we come back, I'll have all these in. Now you have all your data put in with your trial numbers. We're going to now take all this data. So I'm going to left click in the top here, that is in B3, and I'm going to pull this all the way down to number 27. And I'm going to right click, and I'm going to copy. And I'm going to go to where it says sorted data. I'm going to click in D3. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hit paste. And I'm going to leave this highlighted, because what I want to do now is I'm going to sort this by the smallest value to the largest. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to go about 2/3 of the way down in the dialog box, and right where the word sort is, I can just put my cursor on there, then come over to sort smallest to largest and click again. And now that changes my data set, and it changes the top value to 0.936 and the largest value to 0.99. Next up is to put in formulas or functions for these 5 calculations that we need to do here. Mean is a statistician's way of saying average. So whenever we put a formula into a Excel cell, we need to put in the equal sign first. And for this one, I'm going to just type AVE, which stands for average, and I'm going to double click on that. And it puts in the word average, parenthesis, and you can see a flashing cursor here. And down here it says what's number 1 and number 2. So I'm going to go over to my first data point, which is 0.936, click, and pull all the way down. And that puts in D3 to D29 up there in the J3 cell, I think it is. Yes, it is. And I hit enter. And that gives me a mean of 0.950593. Now, median equals is the first thing we put in. And I'm going to type in MED. And that gives me median as a choice here. So I'm going to double click that. And again, it's asking me for the data set that I want. So I'm going to highlight all of these data points and hit enter. Mode. Mode, again, equal sign. I'm going to type MOD. And here I'm going to use the bottom one, MODE. Double click. And I hit all my sorted data. Hit enter. So my median is 0.951. Median is the number that occurs in the middle of your data set if you start with the lowest number going to the highest. Mode is the one that occurs the most frequently. So 0.951 happens 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 times in our data set. So that's why this is the mode. Range. Range, there isn't a function for this. So we're going to put in the equal sign. But we're going to do a very simple math problem here. Range is the highest value minus the lowest value. So I'm going to go down to this column, or this data point right here that says 0.99. I'm going to click, and you'll see it puts in D29. Then I'm going to put in a minus sign, and then I'm going to put in the top value, or the least value, or lowest value, which is in D3, and I just hit enter, and I end up with a value of 0.054. Now, standard deviation, equal sign, and we put in STD. And there are two standard deviations. There's population, and then there is standard deviation S. Population calculates the standard deviation based on the entire population given as arguments. Standard deviation S estimates standard deviation based on a sample. So we're going to use population because we want all of them. So again, it's asking me for the data I want to use. I highlight all of that and push enter, and I end up with a standard deviation of 0.009441. You should save this Excel spreadsheet as cubes, because what you can do is you can delete all of this data right here that we have in here. Hit delete. Oops. Delete. Sorry about that. Hit delete. And what you'll notice is all of these over here go away. But what you can do now is put in your raw data. I don't know what, I'm just going to put in some numbers here. 0.250. I'm just putting in whatever. You'll put in your measurements for your puzzle cube. When you do that and copy this column over to sorted data and then sort it, what will happen is all of these things over here will fill back in. And then you'll be able to fill in your mean, median, mode, range, and your standard deviation. And you will take this page and you will print the Excel spreadsheet and staple the two of them together and turn them in.